Hey, 420 MSP, Harry here. Everybody's working from home, including Chuck Maines, the leading hemp industry lobbyist from the state of Texas. Sir, welcome back.
Hey, Harry, how are you?
Pretty good. So the question of the month is, and we touched on it last interview, and we said we'd get back together and double click down into it, is the essential services designation for the cannabis industry. Is that going to accelerate the national legalization? That's my question to you this month, my friend.
I will tell you, I know that there's a lot of talk, a lot more talk than there has been. You can look here in the state of Texas and see, our sales tax revenue is down. The oil market's crashed.
Oh, man.
The legislature's looking for money any way they can get it, and we're going to go into session here in January with a huge shortfall. I don't see how we can't look at this more seriously. If you just look at other states that have done it, and the amount of money that it's brought in, I mean, this would definitely help with the shortfall, not just in Texas, but this is national.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know there's a lot more talk than I'm used to about the possibility of legalization, in Texas and around the country. It needs to be done mostly, by state, but with the economy the way it is right now, I'm going to see more states that were already, walking that way are definitely going to be getting there a lot sooner.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of what we're hearing, and it's we track the industry from a slightly different point of view, but that was my feeling literally a year ago in the state of Illinois when the Senate bill or the bill was introduced in early May. I remember because I was in Chicago at a trade show like today, and I believe a month later the governor signed it into law. And the conventional wisdom in Chicago at that show at the time was not that the state of Illinois is some liberal state. It was more revenue. It was more government revenue was the driver with the government, the governor signing that. Is that a fair assessment?
It is. I mean, you look here. In Texas we have a speaker who has said automatically, every agency, that's colleges, that's agencies, including agencies that monitor the stuff that we're doing over here with the hemp. Everybody has to take at least a 5% cut. Yeah. Now, the governor has been discussing the possibility of a 20% cut. A 20% cut for these agencies, and especially in Texas, because we're not a taxing state.
Right.
You bring up the word tax, and you get in trouble around here. So, and the way we've been doing to bridge the gaps in the past several sessions has been basically just putting the state more in debt. So this time around, we're really going to have to look in the box, to find all kinds of revenue sources. And as conservative leaning the state is, I think this is an issue that they're going to have to start looking at as a potential moneymaker.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Because, the joke in Colorado, I was in Colorado for a conference before Thanksgiving, and the joke and the reality is everybody's coming up from Texas to, what is that, Trinidad or whatever that town is right at the Colorado border.
Yeah. Yes.
So Colorado's getting all the tax revenue from the Texans.
True. It's true. Yeah. I looked it up. I think Colorado's like $1 billion in tax revenue just from pot.
Yeah.
I mean, $1 billion. $1 billion can do a lot of stuff, even in a state as big as Texas.
Yeah, and I've had good conversations since I last talked to you. Two final points. Since I last talked to you about a month ago, I've had talks with other industry players, and I concur that there's a countercyclical element to cannabis, much like gambling, alcohol, and other sins. But there's that conventional wisdom that this is like one of five things that actually does well, in addition to movers moving people out of their homes.
True, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at that kind of stuff, when we're talking about these executive orders that, the essential businesses and stuff like that, one of the interesting things that the governor did here in Texas is opened up alcohol to go sales from restaurants. And the industry in Texas, the alcohol industry, has a very, very tight grip on the Texas legislature. And the fact that the governor went and did this, because they were not on board with this in sessions past. This time around, with the governor doing this executive order, and now he's saying we may want to keep it like this. I mean, it's got to have the liquor lobby like banging their heads against the door. So
Yeah.
anyway, but saying that is just kind of like a bridge to, okay, well, look, the governor is open to expansion on this. Well, is this a sign that we may see something in the legalization scenario?
Certainly one step closer. Hey, finally, a comment that flew by. I've told you off camera, I grew up in Alaska. My mom and dad met at the University of Texas in Austin. My dad went to law school there, Texas oil lawyer, Prudhoe Bay, grew up in Alaska. I still stay in touch with friends in Alaska. I'm looking over at Market Watch right now. The generic oil price is $20 a barrel. That's a death sentence in the state of Alaska. I believe with the decline in Prudhoe Bay and the increased production cost, don't quote me, I thought it is $60 or $80 a barrel to produce a barrel in Alaska. It's expensive. I'm assuming it's the same in Texas, right? $20 a barrel is not good news for a natural resource economy, eh?
Oh, no. And that's our largest source of income is the oil and gas market. And people in Houston, out in Midland right now, I mean, they don't have any, they're in the hole right now, and it's going to take a serious hit on the Texas economy. So this is another reason we're going to have to start looking at other options to bring in revenue.
Well, I guess the good news is maybe I can buy that house in Dripping Springs for half price in 2 years, but I don't mean to capitalize on misery.
Well, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Hey, Chuck, thanks for your time. We'll circle back next month if you don't mind, but I appreciate you helping educate. Remember, our audience is geeks, right? Managed services providers, computer guys and gals. And I appreciate your time, Chuck, because I just think it's important that they think at a more strategic level, right? Instead of the ones and zeros and the bits and bytes. So thank you for helping us kind of elevate our game.
Sure thing, Harry. Yeah, pleasure to be here.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice month.
You too. See ya.